up on Mountain News this morning, we take a look at the long list of requirements for some medical practices that began opening back up yesterday. And state officials say they will resolve many of the issues with those facing obstacles with Kentucky's unemployment system by the end of the week. Plus, we show you how recently approved disaster funding will be used to help those affected by flooding that tore through eastern Kentucky earlier this year.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. It is Tuesday, another start to a great week, as we like to call it. Brandon mentioned earlier, Monday 2.0. Now let's go ahead and bring him in here. Yesterday was a great day outside. I know today we may see a little bit of rain, but do we need that heavy rain gear, or can we just get away with that umbrella and light jacket?
I think we can get away with the umbrella and light jacket this morning. You can see some more green starting to show up here across the region. Now we're seeing some green around those radar sites. Now Jackson, there's some rain just to the north of it there, but for the most part, that's just a little bit of ground clutter around the radars. You see some from Louisville all the way through central Kentucky, kind of riding along the I-64 corridor, and then more back over just south of Charleston and parts of southern West Virginia as well. So temperatures, as we take a look, there are clouds that are around in most of the area, but some spots down to the south didn't see as much cloud cover overnight, so that's why they're colder there. Either where that's in the 40s this morning, especially down near the Kentucky, Tennessee, Virginia border there in the low 40s. Not much cloud cover. Most of it's close to 50 this morning. Those low 40s kind of clustered down in the southeastern counties. Anywhere from 0, or right where it was yesterday, degrees warmer or colder, and then basically anywhere to about 20 up towards central Kentucky from this time yesterday morning. Your 12-hour planner, around 72 today. I think we'll see those scattered chances for rain early, and then things will start to improve quickly as we get into the afternoon hours, both temperature-wise and with the clouds mixing with that sunshine. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. Some medical practices originally deemed not essential began opening back up yesterday, but the checklist of required precautions is long. WYMT's Will Puckett has more.
For Puckett Family Chiropractic, Monday is a welcome day.
It was just nice to have patient interaction. It was everyone was very happy to see each other. And also, we haven't seen our employees in about a month as well, aside from like FaceTime and things of that nature. But it was good to see them. Closed
for weeks, chiropractic offices are on the short list of things allowed to reopen Monday. But in order for them to stay open, there is a new normal.
Well, what we're doing is doing everything we can within CDC guidelines just to go over and above and beyond to keep ourselves safe, and also mostly our patients as well.
From wearing face masks the second you walk in the door to sanitizing every inch of the facility, this process is to keep their doors open and people all around safe.
The new waiting room, or the new normal, is the parking lot, and so we have tents and we have areas set outside they'll fill out their paperwork and they can take the paperwork back to their cars and things of that nature. So it's just basically just a little different.
While things are getting back to a different normal, things at hospitals grow a little more dire.
Surgeries are one quarter of where they are the same last year. So when we look at one quarter, last year we did 1,162 surgeries in the month of April. This year we're forecasted trending to do 330.
While hospitals have a list of things they are starting to perform again,
the hospital was able to open up diagnostic treatment, physical therapy, optometry, radiology, non-urgent and urgent emergent procedures, in-person office visits, ambulatory visits, and anesthesia testing services.
Their resources are still strained. Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
Governor Beshear said that if businesses are unable to meet any of their requirements, they are unable to open, even for the business in the Phase 1 category. Now, health officials with Kentucky's Poison Control Center say people are getting poisoned by household disinfectants as they try to fight COVID-19. In March, the Kentucky Poison Control Center of Norton Children's Hospital saw a 30% increase in overall exposure calls related to disinfectants. That spike included a 56% increase in poisonings from household cleaners and a 30% increase in poisonings from hand sanitizers. 80% of those calls were related to children. And to keep cleaning products away from kids, officials recommend storing all products out of sight and out of reach. State officials say that they will resolve many of the issues with applying for or receiving unemployment by the end of this week. Now, many people say despite trying to apply for unemployment, they are still having no luck. One man says he did not get his first payment, but is running into roadblocks. One man says that he did get his first payment, but is running into roadblocks receiving any more, telling us he had to restart the process and that could take weeks to receive another payment. However, the government promised this past weekend that anyone who filed in March will get results by the end of this week. And as furloughs happen across the country, one specific sector seeing these is hospitals. WYMT's Madison program tells us about a local hospital's decision to furlough some of their employees.
Pikeville Medical Center announced Friday they would be furloughing some of their employees.
Everybody is still on our payroll. In essence, it's a hiatus. We told them to go home, and we will call you back.
Donovan Blackburn, CEO of PMC, says they try to keep their employees working in case of a COVID-19 surge. But with the lack of elective surgeries taking place and low numbers of patients, they couldn't continue that.
We've got this huge engine over there with no fuel going in. We don't have patients coming in. So when you look at inpatient admissions, right now we are doing half. We are at half of what we were the same time last year.
These employees still on the PMC payroll will continue receiving benefits. They will not lose their vacation or sick pay until they get the call to come back.
When we call, the only requirement is you have to come. It may be on a Tuesday, because if you don't come, then it is considered job abandonment and you will probably risk losing your plan, your benefits.
Blackburn saying the positions furloughed did not have direct patient contact.
So no nursing was furloughed. No physicians were furloughed. These are all support positions, okay? These are tech, clerks, cooks, housekeeping.
But everyone has a special role in the halls of the hospital.
Our employees are still PMC members of this family.
Looking forward to the day everyone can walk back through the doors of PMC and continue to do their job of serving the community. In Pikeville, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
As of now, nearly 80 employees are furloughed, but Blackburn expects operations to ramp up and as more surgeries are allowed. Some employees could be called back as early as next week. We also talked about furloughs during a wide range discussion about COVID-19 with two doctors from Appalachian Regional Healthcare. You can see that full interview on our website at WYMT.com. And last night we learned that Elkhorn City Police closed down their Dollar General store for not following social distancing guidelines. Police Chief Bobby Sexton says that 2 people, 1 worker and 1 customer were cited. Sexton says that his department will take the necessary measures to ensure the safety of its people and that it is not clear how long the store will be closed. In McCreary County, officials say a man is resisting quarantine orders. The Lexington Herald reports that the man came into contact with COVID-19 and he's refusing to isolate and will not take a test. The health department is asking the courts to force the man to stay at home. Prosecutors have also reached out to the sheriff's office for help. In February, flooding tore through much of eastern Kentucky and other parts of the state as well. And in late March, Governor Beshear requested federal assistance as part of a disaster declaration. On Friday, President Trump approved that declaration, providing public assistance. WYMT's Connor James breaks down who will get that money.
In February, streets were submerged, homes sat in feet of water, and the destruction caused by flooding across eastern Kentucky was widespread.
We knew we were going to get some rain, but the amount of rain that we got during that time frame was a lot more than any of us expected.
Cleanup following that was also a long process. You can still see the aftermath in communities like Dehoyt. With federal money coming into 27 Kentucky counties, the question now is where does that go? There are a few different ways that assistance comes in, on an individual and a public basis.
Really, we had more individual damage here in Harlan County than we had public.
The public assistance is what was approved. The individual assistance is still under review. But on the public level, that money will go towards projects like mudslides and road repairs.
Really, in this time, with all that's going on with COVID-19 and the declining revenues governments are experiencing, any help is greatly appreciated.
The funding under review would go to families that had actual damage to their homes. Here in Harlan County, that's roughly 50 to 70 people. Across the state, that number is amplified.
Like I said, I'm just hopeful that the individual assistance comes through with this, because there are a lot of people that need that help.
In Harlan, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, there is no word on when the review of individual assistance will be approved. We have a list of all of the counties covered by assistance on our website at WYMT.com. And several eastern Kentucky families are now homeless after an apartment fire. It happened in Martin County. The Martin County Sheriff's Office says it was an old Rainbow Inn on Old Route 3. He says everyone managed to make it out of the building safely, but many of them now have nowhere to live. The Inez Fire Department managed to contain the fire. Just ahead on Mountain News this morning, as summer grows closer, some amusement parks are announcing how they plan to handle operations amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
And we're tracking some rain chances that will come in with a cold front tomorrow. We'll see how it affects your forecast in about 3 minutes.